Why was the crouch jump necessary? I know I played really aggressive sometimes, but I think I was doing good in general. At one time, the healing felt more than enough because we had two main healers, so I switched to Zen. But the other support switched to Mercy, and the healing wasn't good enough anymore. Would like to know how I can rank up as a support without depending on my team, and what things should I do or avoid doing while solo queuing. I watched a lot of Unranked to GM, a lot of character map specific guides, and general game sense, etc. before, but those tips and tricks can't be applied easily in this rank, which is Bronze 2/1. Thank you in advance. Alright, so what I'm seeing right now is your team is clearly full health, and you are not doing nearly enough damage. Now we're applying good damage. This is good. Nice. Okay, good. Now the tank's dead, right? So you just need to heal your team. Keep your team alive. Don't be standing in the open fire. You see how you're standing kind of like in this open fire? Kind of taking a bunch of damage from the stuff from the ash and stuff. You could literally be standing here doing the exact same stuff. You could be standing over here doing the exact same thing. You know, you don't have to be doing all of that jazz. It's just going to cause you to burn a lot of resources that you don't really need to do because you're doing it for yourself. Because I'm sure now we're just going to use a regen burst here, maybe? Maybe we don't. Well, that's good. And no, we do use the regen burst, which we probably didn't need to on the Cassidy, and that's going to make it so that we're not going to have it for a little bit. I think we still win this, though, so we're fine. We're chilling. An idea on why this is bronze, you can see that the entire enemy team is playing the low ground. No one is playing any of this high ground here, which is really great for you guys because it makes the pushing this so much easier because someone like Bap is able to actually take this high ground pretty much with ease, and with a window on the bridge, it's going to be very easy to carry this. So, obviously we could have positioned our immortality under here just to keep the Orisa holding this corner alive better. Another thing is you're healing the Orisa kind of when she's full health here. This Orisa doesn't need any help with healing right now. Instead, I'd rather you be shooting, you know, either the Torb or the Orisa. And then also, if you wanted to, you could hold both your healing and shooting down, and you could heal, you know, both of them, heal and damage at the same time if you really wanted to. And then as your Orisa takes more damage, now we can maybe throw our immortality over here just to keep her on this corner, keep her alive, keep her happy. Until our Mercy connects to him, and then we'll be able to throw in a regen burst getting a little closer. And honestly, you could even amp or window around this corner here to make it so your Orisa does more damage, or you can window behind her so that you're doing more healing and damage. But we don't use any of that. They use a Bob that we don't sidestep. Hopefully we don't hold on to our ultimate too long, though. Remember, you actually get ultimates quicker than you think you do. So just make sure you're using that ultimate, you know, as quick as you possibly can. Now, going over top here is never really the best option because of several reasons, right? If you try to go over top and they're playing, you know, here, they're going to see you pop over here, and so you're going to be very easy for the hit scan player like Ashe, like Bap, like Torb. Torb's not hit scan, but, you know, his turret can easily poke you out, too. You're going to be just easy for these people to shoot at when you jump over that. Second thing, takes you away from your team. You actually, if you get over top of this thing, you're not going to be able to heal your team effectively almost at all. So it's better to just stay down with your team here. And if you were going to do something eventually, you might want to go up to, like, this high ground since they're not using it, to then heal your Orisa here or something, or even go where the Cassidy is, so you can heal your Orisa, but also pressure the enemy team. But that's eventually once you guys push out. Very interesting immortality field. It wasn't really needed at all. Would have much rather you use it to save yourself rather than just chuck it over at your Cassidy using the high noon. And I don't know if you've noticed, but you've held on to this ultimate for a while. Like, too long. We probably could have had 2 ultimates already at this point. Especially because the enemy Orisa has their second Orisa ultimate. Which definitely tells me that we could have had, you know, at least 2 BAP windows here. So just make sure you're using your ultimate a lot more than you are using it. You kind of use your window here without really knowing where the enemy's at. You want to make sure you're using it where the enemy's at, and you want to be using it to where the enemy team's unable to run away. Like, think about... You kind of did it when the enemy team kind of rounded this corner here and went on this bridge. But imagine if now, you know, your team's fighting here and we window here now. Because that makes it so that this Moira, though she wants to commit, now she can't really because, you know, there's a giant BAP window here stopping. And things like that. But yeah, you using it all the way back here, there's no one really to shoot at. So for you, it's kind of pointless. You know, there's no reason for you to really do that. And I guess you did it to amplify the dragon, but dragon doesn't get amplified through BAP window. Oh, big boops from the Orisa. Big boops. Why was the crouch jump necessary? I mean, that was the throw. There's no other way to put that. I mean, just that fight was on you. The big things I'm seeing is we're not playing high ground very well. We're not using our abilities fantastically, and we're holding on to these ultimates way too long. I want to see us using these ultimates a lot quicker. Fun fact, you can crouch and jump the Orisa, and you'll actually, you know, dodge the Orisa ult that way. Like, if you got caught in that Orisa ultimate, and you decided to crouch and jump, you probably could have jumped up to this chandelier here. And now you would have just avoided the entire Orisa ult, so you wouldn't have had to die. Mercy wouldn't have had to waste res on you. Luckily, your Cassidy kind of clutches up, though, so you're good. You're playing very close to your team, though, here. And I would think that because you're playing so close to your team, you're going to take spam damage and probably die for it. You can shoot. There you go. Alright, so that was just poor aim on an immortality field. And probably even poor positioning, right? Because you probably didn't need to go all the way that you did for the Junkrat. You probably could have stood here, done the same stuff for the Junkrat, shot the Echo, turned back here to help the Orisa. But you kind of got a little tunnel vision, ran way too far over here, which puts you on the opposite end of this tower for the Orisa, so it makes it very difficult for you to actually do anything to help out the Orisa. So it looks like you're getting pulled into these duels too, and you're kind of stuck moving in a forward direction rather than sometimes just planting your feet and being able to be 2 places at once, just with the position you're angled. And then here you're sucked on the point when the enemy tank and rest of the team get on the point. Instead, use your jump boots to reposition yourself to this high ground. Use your jump boots to reposition yourself to this high ground. So you're a little out of the chaos, a little out of the spam. I think in general, we're playing way too close to these fights. And it's causing us to die a ton, use abilities that we don't need to use a ton, and just, like, in general, waste a lot of stuff that really doesn't need wasted because it can be prevented. Here, I'd probably, instead of taking just this high ground, I'd probably take the high ground, but I guess since your Orisa's down here, it's probably better you drop in here. That's fine. Now, here on the low ground, this is a little sketch because You're now playing the low ground by yourself, isolated from the rest of your team. And remember, you're not a tank. You can't be just standing here taking a bunch of spam damage. This is how you waste things like your immortality. This is how you get, you know, destroyed here. Because on a better team, if I see a BAP doing this and I'm playing the tank, you're getting run over. There's no surviving frontlining right next to your tank as a support. You can headshot in the through the window. So instead of doing the 150, you could be doing 300 damage with headshots. Tough to tell if it was a gold Orisa, though, since it's Echo. But you definitely weren't shooting at the head there. So I don't like this high ground. And a reason why I don't like that high ground is because this is such a small space. There's no strafing. You can't do any kind of side-to-side step through this small window. Instead, why are you not standing, you know, here? There's a lot of stuff you can sidestep over here. There's a lot of places you can sidestep over here. And these positions are actually going to be better for you because they're playing someone like Junkrat. Now, Lari's going to have more of a better time hitting you. Same as Zen, same as the Echo. But if you're playing, like, down here, Junkrat's going to spam you a bunch. If you're playing over here, Junkrat's going to spam you a bunch. So playing somewhere up here is going to be better for you. But playing here, there's no strafing happening. So you really can't dodge anything, which is why you got forced out of that position so early. Again, nice immortality field, but I feel like you could have just dodged it with a crouch jump and then maybe thrown the immortality for the rest of your team. That's probably going to save you, you know, more so. Here, I just take some time. You have killed the entire enemy team, so take some time, relocate, reposition, right? You shouldn't just be standing in this one spot and just feeling like you need to heal people. You have like 10 to 15 seconds before the enemy team comes back, right? So we can choose to either get aggressive, which is, you know, playing over here, which is, you know, probably too aggressive, so you definitely don't want to do that. But, like, you know, damaged players could get aggressive and play over here to poke the enemy out. You should think about maybe taking this high ground here so you can better heal these guys, not to mention your grenades. You know, they arc, so from higher ground, you're going to be able to hit those better. Your immortality goes the exact same arc path as your healing grenades, so you're also going to be able to land that a lot easier from afar. And you're just going to be overall just safer. Down here, what can you see? You see a payload? You see a payload. That's literally, like, you can barely see your teammates here. So it's just, like, very difficult for you to actually provide much impact from where you're standing. And you're just, like, not thinking, like, maybe I should be positioning myself to a better position, you know? If you have the time where a team fight's not going on, take that time, get yourself into a good position for your advantage. Yeah, you're just gonna get run over by the enemy team here. You're lucky your Junkrat, you know, got the tire off. But yeah, I mean, if you literally start playing high ground, you're just gonna have such a better time. Because the enemy team's not gonna play high ground, so you're just going to have a better angle on them. You're gonna have more cover. Only about 50% of the roster can get to high ground using an ability. So that takes out half of the enemies that you're going to be facing in these low lobbies. And you're just going to have a great time because you're you know, your grenades are gonna land easier. You're gonna shoot the enemy more. I mean, just look at this. You're playing frontline, so you just die instantly on Baptiste. Not to mention, if you were playing back here... Well, I don't think it reaches the whole way. But you could have played here. And you could have probably just hit your ultimate twice. And it would have just flipped the matrix so that your whole team can shoot through it. Kind of like a Maywall flips whenever you hit the Maywall button twice. The same deal. And then that is, you know, if you aren't going to be able to touch, just don't go out because you're just staggering yourself, you're staggering your team. Because now you're playing Zen here, and the enemy team is already rounding that first corner. We can see it already. Rounding that first corner. And we're not grouped up with a team here yet. Yep. Luckily, no one dies, though. Yep, and then you frontline again, so you die. Because you're dead, there's a lot less damage going into the enemy team because they don't have discords. And so they're able to be a little bit more aggressive. They end up getting the Orisa, so now they can push more. They get your Ana. You're playing way too close to the enemy. If you're playing someone like Zen, you don't need to be this close to the enemy, and that's because Zen, like all other projectile heroes, doesn't have any damage fall off. So if you have no damage fall off, there's no reason that you should be frontlining. Because as Zen, you can be standing right here, which you were on attack. You did very well on attack, so I don't know why you're not having the same principle and standing here on defense. But you could be standing here on Zen and shooting, and because they have damage fall off, they can't do any damage to you, but you can do full damage to them from all the way back here. So you need to be, you know, standing back here and spamming the enemy team, just so that you're not dying yourself. Because they're just going to kill you here because you just ran past your Orisa. And now they're going to pop all their ultimates and, you know. Team kill, overtime. So it's not... I know you said that it's because you had lack of healing, and so that's why you lost. It's really not. It's because you had a lack of positioning, which caused you to take more damage than you needed to take, which caused you not to have the healers to be able to heal that damage. And because you didn't have the healers to heal the damage from your poor positioning, you die. But if you just had better positioning, you wouldn't even take that damage in the first place. And that's the main thing that I saw. Like I said, the main issue is we're standing way too close to the tank. So we're taking big things like the Dynamite spam, the Junkrat spam, the Orisa spam, the Symmetra spam. Just everything we're taking is because we're playing way too close to the enemy here. There's no way you're trying to go touch. There's no way. You have 20 seconds still. So, there you had to use your immortality because you tried to do something risky and ballsy. So you wasted your immortality, your Ryan goes in for a play, you can't support him because you wasted your immortality, and so you can't support that. But I'm gonna be honest with you, the main thing you need to work on is your positioning. You're standing way too close to the enemy. You're staying way too close to these fights. So you're taking a lot of damage that you don't need to take, which causes you to waste abilities, waste healing, and or just die. And that gives a free pick to the enemy team. Also, if you enjoy these kind of videos, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. I do post a video like every week to help you guys climb. If you want your own VOD reviewed, I VOD review these on Twitch Mondays through Wednesdays, 7 p.m. EST. And as always, if you like the video, make sure you leave a like button. It really helps me out. Yeah, so you can see the enemy team is coming towards you. So why are you staying on point, right? You have these boots that allow you to jump. So why are you not using the boots to jump yourself to higher positions, like here or here? And why are you using the boots just to jump you up to one spot? Because this isn't really doing anything for you. You know? Like, we can do this all day, but this isn't going to do anything for you. Versus us going to here, where we now can choose to go take cover if we get low, stay up here. Orisa can't even get up here unless she decides to use the stairs, in which case we can just drop and go over here, and now Orisa has to use the stairs all the way over here to go fight us. So instead of you just staying on point, fighting an Orisa doing this, let's actually do something with those boots and use them to get ourselves to better high ground so we can actually poke people out. Because if you're just going to sit on the point like this, you're going to die as soon as the enemy team starts pushing in on you guys. Which we're seeing a lot. So I would say that your big issue that you're not climbing is because you're staying on this low ground a lot, and the tank is able to just push into you and confirm kills on you because you're literally playing and not moving away from them or positioning yourself away. You need to think about like rotating your position or whatever your plan B is going to be. So yeah, positioning's the big one. After positioning, I would say ultimate usage needs a little bit of work. Just to use that a little bit more. And then, maybe ability usage too, just because, you know, it kind of goes hand in hand with your positioning, right? Because if you're in a bad position, you're going to have to use your abilities sooner. But you'll see that if you're in a better position, you're not going to use your abilities as much, so you can actually take time to actually use that. And then, another thing is just, like, planning. So, like, there's sometimes where you have a full team fight, and then you have 15 or so seconds of downtime, and instead of you just having no thought process and just healing your team, you really need to think about where you're going to go, where you're going to position, so that the next fight, you can have a huge impact on the game. Whether it's with your ultimate or just with your immortality field. Yeah. So I hope that stuff helps, and happy climbing.